Hi everybody, happy Easter, and I'm here today with Mr. Sabin. He's going to join me in a second to play the egg game with you. There he is. And then we'll read a book together, the book that you picked. All right, here's Mr. Sabin.
I got this egg. So, let me give you some clues so you can try to guess what's inside this egg. All right? First clue. It's gray. Gray. Second clue. It has a trunk. And the third clue, so what do you guys think it is? Well, let's see. Oh no. Oh! I got it.
It's Mabel! Good job, you guys. You guessed it. It was Mabel the elephant. Hi, Mabel. How are you? It's good to see you. Can you wave hi to all of our friends? Yeah. All right, Mabel, let's get ready to read our story that the kids picked today. Do you want to grab it for me? Okay. Oh, here it is. Okay, Mabel, I'm going to set you down, and you can take a little rest while I read the story. The story that you guys voted on this week is the silly story about a man who wants to plant a garden and the rabbits keep eating his vegetables. It's called Muncha, Muncha, Muncha by Candace Fleming. Pictures by G. Brian Karras. For years, Mr. McGreely dreamed of planting a garden. He dreamed of getting his hands dirty, of growing yummy vegetables, and of gobbling them all up. But he never once tried it until this spring, said Mr. McGreely. This spring, by golly, I'm gonna plant a garden. So he hoed, and he sowed, and he watched his garden grow. Lettuce, carrots, peas, tomatoes, yum, yum, yummy, said Mr. McGreely. I'll soon fill my tummy with crisp, fresh veggies. But one night, when the sun went down and the moon came up, 3 hungry bunnies appeared. Tippy, 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 pat. Muncha, muncha, muncha. Uh-oh. The next morning, when Mr. McGreely saw his gnawed sprouts, he was angry. So he built a small wire fence all around his vegetable garden. There, he declared, no bunny can get into my garden now. I don't know, you think that will work? And the sun went down and the moon came up and tippy, 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 pat, spring hurdle, dash, dash, dash. Muncha, muncha, muncha. The next morning, when Mr. McGreely saw his nibbled leaves and gnawed sprouts, he was really angry. So he built a tall wooden wall behind the small wire fence all around his vegetable garden. Humph, he huffed. Those flap ears will never get over it. No bunny can get into my garden now. Think that will work? And the sun went down and the moon came up and tippy, 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 pat, dig, scrabble, scratch, 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 spring hurdle, dash, 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 muncha, muncha, muncha. He's dreaming about his carrots. The next morning, when Mr. McGreely saw his chewed stems, his nibbled leaves, and his gnawed sprouts, he was really, really angry. So he made a deep, wet trench outside the tall wooden wall behind the small wire fence all around his vegetable garden. Ha! He snorted. Those pufftails can't get under it. They can't get over it. No bunny can get into my garden now. You think they can get in? And the sun went down, and the moon came up, and tippy, 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 pat. Dive, paddle, splash, splash, splash. Dig, scrabble, scratch, scratch, scratch. Spring hurdle, dash, dash, dash. Muncha, muncha, muncha. The next morning, when Mr. McGreely saw his chomped blossoms, his chewed stems, his nibbled leaves, and his gnawed sprouts, he was furious. So he hammered and blocked, sawed and stocked, drilled and filled, and trapped and locked, and he built a huge, enormous thing before the deep, wet trench, outside the tall wooden wall, behind the small wire fence, all around his vegetable garden. I've outsmarted those twitch whiskers for sure, he exclaimed. They can't get through it, they can't get under it, and they can't get over it. No bunny, no way, no how can get into my vegetable garden now. Do you think they'll be able to get in this time? And the sun went down, and the moon came up, and tippy, 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 stop. The three hungry bunnies looked and smelled and touched the huge, enormous thing before them, and tippy, 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 pat. The bunnies hopped away. Maybe he finally outsmarted them. The next morning, when Mr. McGreely saw his untouched vegetables, he was happy. I beat the bunnies, he whooped, and he did a jiggly-wiggly victory dance. Then he climbed over, jumped across, squeezed between, and crawled under until he reached his vegetable garden. Uh-oh, I see something, you guys. Oh, no. Ah, sighed Mr. McGreely at last. Smacking his lips, he picked and pulled up lettuce, carrots, peas, tomatoes, and with his basket overflowing, he reached inside for something yummy. Uh-oh, what is that coming out of his basket? Muncha, muncha, muncha. The end. All right, guys, have a happy Easter. Don't forget to vote on the next thing we're going to do with our book next week. See you soon. Bye.